Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. This year, I'm going through the lessons and asking Jesus to clarify for me. And then I'm writing whatever comes into my mind, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. The lesson today is 76. I am under no laws but God's. We have observed before how many senseless things you seem to, sorry, let me read that again. We have observed before how many senseless things have seemed to you to be salvation. Each has imprisoned you with laws as senseless as itself. You are not bound by them. Yet to understand that this is so, you must first realize salvation lies not there. While you would seek for it in things that have no meaning, you bind yourself to laws that make no sense. Thus, do you seek to prove salvation is where it is not. Paragraph 2. Today we will be glad you cannot prove it. For if you could, you would forever seek salvation where it is not and never find it. The idea for today tells you once again how simple salvation is. Look for it where it waits for you, and there it will be found. Look nowhere else, for it is nowhere else. Jesus is telling us that as long as we look for salvation in the world, including the body, we will not find it. Our problem is in our mind. Salvation is in our mind. We must look at our thoughts and beliefs and allow correction in order to be saved from the world's senseless laws. Jesus tells us that the world doesn't exist and neither do these bodies, and yet we keep looking to them for solutions to our suffering. I might express this as save the planet or save the body and I will be saved, and this will never work. Instead, let me undo all grievances in my mind and undo the belief in guilt, and I will be truly saved. Paragraph 3. Think of the freedom of the recognition that you are not bound by all the strange and twisted laws you have set up to save you. You really think that you would starve unless you have stacks of green paper strips and piles of metal discs. You really think a small round pellet or some fluid pushed into your veins through a sharpened needle will ward off disease and death. You really think you are alone unless another body is with you. I used to think that this made me guilty for being sick or for taking medicine. I felt the same way about needing money. Loneliness seemed like a sin. It all seemed very confusing. I couldn't do without any of these things, so maybe he meant I needed to do them differently. I understand now that he is saying that healing the body and taking care of it is not going to heal my mind. Since the mind is where the problem lies, I need to focus my attention there. This, of course, doesn't mean I stop taking care of the body. That would be foolish. Paragraph 4. It is insanity that thinks these things. You call them laws and put them under different names in a long catalog of rituals that have no use and serve no purpose. You think you must obey the laws of medicine, of economics, and of health. Protect the body and you will be saved. Paragraph 5. These are not laws, but madness. The body is endangered by the mind that hurts itself. The body suffers just in order that the mind will fail to see it is a victim of itself. The body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. It would not understand it is its own enemy, that it attacks itself and wants to die. It is from this your laws would save the body. It is for this you think you are a body. In these paragraphs, Jesus is even clearer about what this lesson is for. Our error is in thinking that the body is the problem, and if we protect it, we will be saved. This is so insane that it's hard for me to remember what it was like to fully buy into the ego's plan to save itself. It's like a magician that uses distraction to fool us into believing in its tricks. It works in our minds at the same time it draws our attention to the body, so we won't see what is actually happening. Right now, I have a couple of physical problems and I'm seeing doctors to find relief. That's their job, and I'm grateful to them for what they do. My job, however, is to continue to watch my thoughts for guilt. This is because guilt is the actual cause of the problems in the body. The tricky ego keeps trying to convince me that I'm guilty for having guilt in the mind. Additionally, it believes the pain in my body is deserved since I am guilty. I fell for that for a while until I realized what was happening. Once the magician's tricks are seen, they no longer work. Paragraph 6. There are no laws except the laws of God. This needs repeating over and over until you realize it applies to everything that you have made in opposition to God's will. Your magic has no meaning. What it is meant to save does not exist. Only what it is meant to hide will save you. So what have we made in opposition to God's will? Only an entire world, people with bodies that are supposed to contain us. Only the belief that this world and its bodies separates us from our Creator and makes us independent of Him. This cannot be reality, and our magic cannot make it so. As Jesus says, what was meant to save, what it was meant to save does not exist. Bodies were made to hide our minds from our awareness so that we would not save ourselves as we can so easily do. The magician's sleight of hand at work. Paragraph 7. The laws of God can never be replaced. We will devote today to rejoicing that this is so. It is no longer a truth that we would hide. We realize instead it is a truth that keeps us free forever. Magic imprisons us, but the laws of God make free. The light has come because there are no laws but His. Paragraph 8. We will begin the longer practice periods today with a short review of the different kinds of laws we have believed we must obey. These would include, for example, the laws of nutrition, of immunization, of medication, and of the body's protection in innumerable ways. Think further. You believe in the laws of friendship, of good relationships, and reciprocity. Sorry, I always have a problem with that word. Perhaps you even think that there are laws which set forth what is God's and what is yours. Many religions have been based on this. They would not save, but damn in heaven's name. Yet they are no more strange than other laws you hold must be obeyed to make you safe. Let us not be confused about this. Even though it is a truth that we don't have a body and therefore cannot be in one, we believe we do and are. So we cannot act as if the body doesn't need care. The magical body needs magical care. What we need to remember is that the body is not our problem. Therefore, we cannot find salvation there. Take care of the body in whatever way you believe will help it. Just don't think the body made anything happen. It didn't make itself sick, and a sick body is not what imprisons you. It is only the mind that exists, and it is the mind that is sick and needs our attention. Paragraph 9. There are no laws but God's. Dismiss all foolish and magical beliefs today and hold your mind in silent readiness to hear the voice that speaks the truth to you. You will be listening to the one who says there is no loss under the laws of God. Payment is neither given nor received. Exchange cannot be made. There are no substitutes. and nothing is replaced by something else. God's laws forever give and never take. Hear him who tells you this and realize how foolish are the laws you thought upheld the world you thought you saw. Then listen further. He will tell you more about the love your Father has for you, about the endless joy he offers you, about his yearning for his only Son, created as his channel for creation, denied to him by his belief in hell. So here's our salvation. I use the world in the body to point to the errors in my mind so that I can be truly healed. I know that the body is not real and it's not me, but I still take care of both, and I still use them in ways that help me to heal my mind. If I'm using people instead of loving them, I notice this and allow my mind to be healed. If I'm substituting one body for another I prefer, I allow my mind to be healed. If I think that I need to be more attractive to be happy, I allow my mind to be healed. See how handy this illusory body can be to help me seek salvation where it can be found? As the mind is healed, we begin to see how foolish our attempts to save ourselves through illusions really is. What is ours in truth is waiting for us to wake up. There is no loss under the laws of God. He never takes, but only gives. God loves us and wants only happiness for us. Creation will bring us endless joy when we awaken. God created us to create, and this is what we're meant for, but cannot do while we sleep. Illusions cannot offer this. Paragraph 11. Let us today open God's channels to him, and let his will extend through us to him. Thus is creation endlessly increased. His voice will speak of this to us, as well as of the joys of heaven, which his laws keep limitless forever. We will repeat today's idea until we have listened and understood there are no laws but God's. Then we will tell ourselves, as a dedication with which the practice period concludes, I am under no laws but God's. 12. We will repeat this dedication as often as possible today, at least 4 or 5 times an hour, as well as in response to any temptation to experience ourselves as subject to other laws throughout the day. It is our statement of freedom from all danger and all tyranny. It is our acknowledgement that God is our Father and that his Son is saved. Well, it's a very beautiful ending to that lesson. Thank you for sharing this lesson with me. And if you found it helpful, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with another lesson.